All right. We get booted again, so I'm not sure how much you heard. So just to review quickly, on the trade of the day, we're taking the OR3 short, take a half an hour loss, stop and reverse at the PSAR flip, get 2R with an exit at the PSAR flip. We're going to take the COTA 2 re-entry and maintain our long side bias because we have a good strong trade already and we've cleared the previous resistance. So we take the PSAR flip long again. This is the standard risk box. You would not be wrong to draw your support line or your stop and reversal line right here at the belly of the RL10. So we're back in here. And we're about 1.5R to the good so far. This one grinds to a scratch. You are authorized to take a short there because failure to follow through means that this just might be the reversal. I did not. If you take that, you should not lose money on that trade. I decide to take the PSAR flip to the upside one more time. That one returns about another 1.5R. So here's 1 unit of reward. So that's about 1.5. So that puts us at about +3 for the day so far. One more COTA 2 and a scratch, and that takes us up to about 230. So that leaves us at about +3 for the day on Devon Energy. Sniper trade of the day. Let's take a look at it from a wider angle. Yeah, so kind of grinding. There were really two small legs today. There was leg one, leg two, and then it was punctuated with that sideways choppiness. So it was not much of a follow through, but we were able to get the moves that were there after that initial move failed, and then we stopped and reversed. All right, so let's take a look at the broader market in perspective now. So we actually had a failure to fail day. It did not fail. It boosted a little bit higher, but I take that as a favorable sign. The important thing to note is we're going to see we are now in a sideways normal market. Yesterday was the tail end of the bear. Today we are now in sideways normal, and that's been a long time coming. That means we are within 2% of the 200-day moving average, and volatility is normal. The volatility of the last 100 days is normal. Okay. Looking at the 30-day look back in the daily chart, here's our 1-day move. There's our 5-day look back, the 10-day look back, 20 and 30. There's your 30-day low and 30-day high. There is your 10-day low and 10-day high, 5-day low, 5-day high. So this is all looking pretty good. And tested 400, got a little bit above it today, held at 398.5. So this has a couple clear targets to the upside to get it to 412. Looks pretty favorable. That's leg one. That's leg two. So we'd like to see one more nice leg up to get it to 412. Looking intraday at the 30-minute chart, we'll see that this was, this was today's move here. Had a brief move up, a sell off, but then a nice recovery. So pretty much kind of a neutral day, but I like the fact that it did not fail. It did not fail, and it held yesterday's low without, and then had a nice recovery. So I take that as a positive sign. Taking a quick look now at the sectors. Let's see how we did. Oh, excuse me. So here's the S&P. Was up 0.85 today. That's our baseline. A nice cluster here of the U.S. indexes. Treasuries are up 1.6, Russell 1.48, the Q's up 1.38. So you like to see tech and the Russell north of the S&P on an update that tells you that these are the leaders. Treasuries 1.62. Emerging markets had the best day at 2.3. The conservative Dow was the worst and at 0.13. All right, let's take a look at the upside today. Again, the S&P baseline 0.85. You had real estate, blended commodities, tech, VIX, and consumer discretionary up to 1.37. Oil, clean energy, commercial real estate up 2.24. Oil exploration, ARC innovation, FANG's marijuana 3.7. Bitcoin and Ethereum 11.5, Bitcoin 4.7, trying to recover from the FTX debacle. Individual companies that did well: Robinhood 6%, Squarespace, financial disruptor 4.34, Coinbase 4.3, Rivian 2.25, Apple 1.2. Now let's take a look at our. Let's see. So Devon Energy, pretty good shape at 3%. Our chips, Nvidia and Intel, 1.19 and 2.28 were above the line, and Alcoa was above the line in the metals. All right, below the line, again, here's the S&P, 0.85. So you get uranium, staples, Aussie dollar, Brazil, wood, agriculture, finance, down to 0.23 from 0.84. Mexico, Archgenomics, the other lumber, materials, biotech, wheat and precious metals, and lithium down to minus 1.2. Here was the cut line between gains and losses there. Two of our three metals were below the line. You have U.S. Steel and Cliff in the metals were underperformers, especially Cliff, -1. And then Texas Instruments was our underperforming chip at 0.07. So kind of a mixed bag. I take this as a positive sign. Key leaders, including the financial disruptors, were all better than the market, but you had a nice mix of energy and tech in there as well. So I think that bodes well for tomorrow, plus the fact that we are so close now to the 200-day moving average that's a good thing. All right, let's take a look at the traders today. Had some good work performed. All right, here's Luke. His kids owe him one today. He's got a Kata 2, PSAR flip, gets long, takes a nice win, goes to play sports with the kids, instantly punished for that decision, leaving normally, but that would normally be about 4R for him. This coming back and breaking down from the collapsing dragon short. This should be a stop and reverse. He gets paid a fraction and gets paid. So about half an R today. But an infinite return on his children, which is what you want. Tim had a rough day today. He was torn between work and trading. Um, this is a good stop and reverse here, which should get paid. He could have stayed in there a little bit longer. Not much, you know, there wasn't much on that one to work with, to be honest. In Walmart, again, he was not trading for a large active time. But what I would say on this one, on Alcoa, um, I guess I understand wanting to get paid here, but we got to re-enter in order to get this move. And then this one might have been here instead of there, but that's not bad. But when this doesn't go, um, that's you have to get out by that time. Maybe if you can get out sooner, but that's not bad. This should be short here. That's not a bad short. So -2, I think that was just from some of these choppy ones and maybe frustration at missing the better play. So check your frustration, which was a theme for the day. Um, in Tesla, here's an OR3 in Tesla. We could be maybe long here. There just wasn't much room. This is let's see. This is the dollar and gold spot, and just nicely done here with that typical Z3 compression, and then a range expansion breakout, and then failure to continue, and that rolls over, so he's out with 4.6, and then short for another couple, so 6.5 in gold for Constantine. That's pretty nice work. And then on the DAX on the 3-minute, whoops. Again, we're seeing a kind of a typical super pinch and then a breakdown. And it never works against him, so why not? And then he benefits from that sharp move for another 5.5. So that's about a 12-hour day for Constantine, crushing it. I'd be interested in seeing your histogram now that you're trading a larger size for the proprietary firm. Here's Nolan. Bitcoin. So here is a breakout from the VWAP. We could be long here. If you take that one, you got to be short on the one, or you got to be, I'm sorry, stop at the 1, 2, 3 exit. Yeah, that's an aggressive short. I like it because you're aiming for the VWAP. It doesn't work, so you stop and reverse well. Now what I want to say is the 1, 2, 3 exit I think is better there, and just take that right away instead of suffering through all of this. But then you nail the PSAR flip and the break. I like the long here instead of here. When that doesn't work, that's when you got to get out. I'd like the re-entry right about here, and then on these gift moves like that, this has been the case 3 times today. We got to get out faster to lock in that nice benefit instead of scratching that. Yeah, good notes. XRP. I think this is better. There wasn't as much volatility in it, but I think you did a nice job picking your shot. I like the quick scratch. I love the re-entry here, but I can live with that one, and then you get paid for 0.7. It looks to me like you're getting tuned in to the entries now. Woj on XRP and the continuation. nets 1R on the nice big candle, and picks up another 4R on these breakouts from consolidation. That's nice work. In Solana, you get chopped around quite a bit. Chopped around actually quite a lot, but still brings home 3.2 for the day. So here's, let's see, the 50, a set of 50 and 50. All right, so here's trades 3101 to 3150. Just going to do a quick histogram study. Best trade 5, worst trade -1. His win rate is 28 to 19. 28 to 19 is like 30 to 20. That's like 3 to 2. That's a 60% win rate. And his payoff at 1.9 to 0.9 is like a payoff favorable rate of 2 to 1. So, do you want a 60% coin flip and a 2 to 1 payoff? Yes, you do. So, we're looking at his histogram now. The first thing we look at is no losses worse than -1. Check. And then between -1 and +2, it has a normalish looking bell curve. So that's correct, and that's positive expectancy. And then a fat right tail. So that looks pretty good. So 60% win rate, 2 to 1 payoff, with an SQN of 3. That's pretty good. That will play. And then the most recent 50, the win rate was 23 to 20, so that's about 5 to 4. And the payoff was better than 2 to 1. And again, you want that all day. On his histogram, tightly constrained, nothing worse than -1. Normalish looking curve out to +2, and then a fat right tail for extra benefits. So he is managing the risk and letting the winners run. That's how we define that. And then with a positive expectancy on the normal middle. So just nicely done. That's what we're looking for. All right, let's look to the dashboard number 1. And for the first time in 8 months, we're not in a bear. We are in sideways normal. And we've got some short-term strength. And the volatility is allowing us to see some potential to the upside. Again, we're only 1.95% below the 200-day moving average, which is what brings us into sideways. We have a few dead cat warnings, but as we said last week, this felt a little bit different, and we have some evidence to back it up. And energy and the conservative plays are winning. Tesla and Disney continue to suffer. In the Dow tactical summary, Walmart with breakouts to the upside. A bit of a breakdown in United Health. Let's take a look at Walmart real quick. Yeah, we talked about Walmart yesterday. Most of that was in the early move, so you'd had to have been pretty darn quick to get a hold of that. One, but we did notice that created the potential for a buying. I don't think that's very tradable right there. You might have gotten an entry here, and then probably had to scratch, and then re-entered. You might have gotten that piece, and then mostly just dead money. But what I would say is, the fact that it was able to hold that price level all day and set right here, I would be putting a risk box on that, and any breakout above, say, 148, I'm ready to go long. And then if it breaks above 150 and a half, a second position here. And then the short position, I really don't want to take that, but your target would be back down to about 140. But I like the upside because it was able to hold all of that energy. Yeah, I think that's good stuff there, Brother William. There, 20%. Kept 20% of that overnight. I think that's a good play, especially getting into sideways quiet. In the ETFs, we're so near that 10-day high. Only Brazil is on a auto framer, and you had some upsides in the emerging markets in Asia, less Japan, the breakouts, and Brazil. Tech is recovering still. I think that's, like we said over the weekend, I think that's the leadership play right now. If we're going to continue to get through the 200, and we're going to test that this week, tech's going to be the leader. Standard auto framers and squeezes. In the sniper framework, we only have in the entire S&P 500 only one Godzilla LNC, none in the tactical symbol set, because we've bounced so far off those deep lows. You're not going to see Godzilla's that much. He's done his work already, for which we thank the King of the Monsters. But now what we're looking for are going to be those one-day movers that are volatile on 5-day and 1 day, and then the 1 day has a big move like SYF 3.5 sigma. And I might look at SYY, which was extremely quiet on the 5-day but started to break out today. That could be the first day of a move upward. And then amongst our most volatile, you like things that are also volatile on the 1 day. Pittsburgh Paints, and so on. Humana. Standard stats. Let's go back to the sniper stats here. Yeah, look, everything's looking normal there. Yeah, I like that XLK and the Qs are near the top on range expansion. I like that Brazil's up there and Microsoft is up there making some gains. In the Dow, the strength, Walmart had the nice big move today, and Devon Energy, I really like that right there. Still more room for that to work. I think you got to see IBM as a stealthy good. Chevron and Energy all looking pretty good. ExxonMobil looking very good. And then here was your strength today was the internationals, emerging markets, EPP, along with the Qs. Yeah, the metals, as my brother points out, should be pretty good tomorrow. Cliff and U.S. Steel. Sleepers. The only thing I don't like about this little pattern right here is even though price is rising, you notice that there was some intraday weakness with the red candles, and we're getting close to that 200-day moving average. So this would be a natural place for people that were early in the buying process to start preserving their gains. So if there's no new buyers that come in, this thing has a potential to roll over. So we're going to be mindful of that. Sideways market. All right, that's everything we got for today. We'll get this published and posted, and we shall see you tomorrow.